If you do things the right way and you focus on systems that work and you champion those systems, the best that you can do, you can see tremendous business success.
Hey, what's up, everybody? That was Don Murphy, this episode's guest on the show, and I'm really pumped to have him on. I've been trying to get him on for a long time, and he did not disappoint. There are so many good takeaways on this show. You're going to love it. Please be sure to give our sponsors some love. We got ProFit Marketing Solutions, we got Cryo Releaser, and we have Offering Tree. ProFit, simply Tim Lyons and his crew over at ProFit, they know how to bring leads, trials, members, revenue into your club. Check them out. Cryo Releaser, it hits those hard to reach spots that other pressure points, trigger point devices can't reach, and it has a patented cold system that helps reduce inflammation along with relieving the tension in the soft tissues. And Offering Tree, does your website suck? Does it need to be updated? Does it incorporate payment, scheduling, information, ways to capture leads? All of that information is built in for as little as $11 a month. And if you want to get discounts that you can't get anywhere else other than on this podcast, go to trainergym.net, click on this episode of the podcast, and the links will be right there, and start saving money and bringing in revenue. What more could you want? Now on with the show. Like I said, Don Murphy, he has a great system for onboarding his members and onboarding his employees, which we didn't even get to because there was so much information that he dropped on this episode. But he creates raving fans right off the bat, and as a result, he was able to raise his rates in a really competitive environment with Planet Fitness right across the street from him. He was able to raise his rates, double his rates, and double his members because of the onboarding systems and other systems he put in place in his club. And you can do it too, to start making more money tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed this conversation with Don Murphy.
Hey everybody, welcome to Masters in Fitness Business Podcast. For those of you guys who are watching our live broadcast on Facebook, welcome. For those of you guys who are listening on audio, welcome as well. And then you can also check us out on our YouTube channel. I have with me Don Murphy, and I have been on Don like a bill collector to get him on this show.
I feel bad.
No, don't feel bad. But Don came to our STS meeting back in October of last year, and he did a great presentation, and I thought it was great stuff. And so that's why I've been trying to get him on the podcast, because I think it's information that will help the listeners of this show really turn their clients, their members, into raving fans. But Don owns two Gold's Gyms up in New York, and he's a Notre Dame grad as well. Yeah. So go Irish, and you also know that he's a brainiac in order to be a Notre Dame alum. So he's a smart guy. He owns two massive clubs. One is 73,000 square feet, and he just opened a brand new Gold's Gym in Middletown. That's 53,000 square feet, which is occupied the majority of his time, which is why it's taken him so long to come on the show. And these gyms are like shopping malls. Really, really impressive. So welcome to the show, Don. I'm glad we finally got you on.
Thanks, James. Good to be here. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Did I get all that information right?
Yeah, you're good. Yep.
Right. Awesome.
Yep. And I just got to give the big shout out I always give to my mother, Mary Murphy, who started the Gold's Gym in Newburgh back in 1986.
Yeah.
I was a senior in high school, so I just kind of grew up in it, and it's been a great ride. And then my wife, Tammy, is my business partner in Gold's Gym in Middletown, so it's a big family affair. It's going big.
That's awesome. Well, let's do that. Let's go into your backstory, because when you did the presentation in October, you kind of went through that backstory, and it was really, really cool to me, because it was cool to see such a big gym have such a family-owned business feel. So you want to take our listeners through that backstory with your mom and
yeah,
you came into the gym business?
Yep. So it was 1986. My mother was a big aerobics queen back then. She was presenting at all the big conferences and the IDEA conference and all. And but she made her way up she became a manager of this gym, and then eventually she and one of the other owners bought out, and they decided to open their own facility. Long story short, they ended up acquiring what was a racquetball tennis club in Newburgh called Airport at the time, Airport Racket. They bought that in 1986, started to bring in the fitness side of things, beginning with a line of Nautilus equipment that they put on one of the racquetball courts. And then it just grew from there. In 1989, they bought into the Gold's Gym franchise. And then soon after, I graduated Notre Dame. But I didn't go into the fitness industry right away. I was in the insurance industry for 7 years. Didn't really look on the fitness industry as my career path until I did some soul searching at about the age of 30 and realized that insurance wasn't my livelihood, or I didn't want to make it my career. So I was always working out. I was always fit. And Mom, all the while, had been doing well with their gyms. Her and her business partner, or at one point they had 5 Gold's gyms between New York and Connecticut. And it was around 2001 that I had that serious talk with her to say, hey, I'd love to learn and get involved. And so I did. And I started selling gym memberships. Still always working out, just loved to lift weights. And 3 years into that, by then I had become a manager of one of our locations, and this is what really opened my eyes to a lot of things as we grew our success. I became certified as a body pump instructor. And for those that aren't familiar with body pump, Les Mills International, which is in the health club world, the world's leading provider of pre-choreographed group fitness programs. And I was not the group fitness guy. I was just put me in a weight room with weights and let me do my thing. At one point, I wanted to get rid of what we were calling aerobics. I just didn't see the value in it. But I was convinced by somebody who came to us already certified to look at the program and try it. I tried it, and first class, I was like, wow, there's something to this whole group environment, with good music and good instruction. I became certified. We bought the program in, and it started to transform our business. Like it literally, this concept of professional group took our business to another whole direction. And I ended up becoming so intrigued by it that I pushed my personal potential to become the best that I could be in presenting group fitness in the programs Body Pump and Body Combat for Les Mills International. I became a national trainer and presenter for them in the US. I was actually featured on one of the Body Pump DVDs back in 2009. We actually then owned and operated. We started a second fitness company called Les Mills Northeast back in 2006, and we owned and operated the distributorship of Les Mills group fitness programming to fitness facilities in the Northeast. And I was the president of that company, and my job was to just be out on the road visiting gyms and health clubs and fitness facilities that were offering group fitness and show them the value of this pre-designed system when it came to group fitness programming. I mean, Les Mills, when it comes to Group X, they've got it dialed in. And so I ran that company for 3 years. And at the same time, with my doing that, I was seeing and understanding and learning from best practices in the industry. And I think for a lot of trainers and entrepreneurs in the world of fitness that are starting their own businesses or they're doing their thing, very often we get trapped into what we do in our home facility. And a lot of us don't get the opportunity to get out and experience what are some of the really great best practices that are happening out there. So for me, my involvement with this company, Les Mills Northeast, led me to be able to do that. I was probably in well over 1,000 different fitness facilities over the course of 3 years, consulting and working with different fitness operators, showing them the value of the Les Mills system. But at the same time, I was seeing and learning from some of their best practices, coming back to our gyms going, man, they're doing this there. Let's bring this in and let's do that. And let's try this. And ultimately, it just led to the success that we've had in our facilities. So I'm very thankful for having done that from 2006 to 2009. and acquiring all that knowledge, and then being able to come back and just implement in our own gyms. We let go of that company after about 3 years and turned our sole focus to the gyms that we now have. Mom, 7 years ago, parted ways with her former business partner, and we just kept it all in the family. We got out of a couple of the gyms that we were involved with, and we turned all of our energy to Gold's Gym in Newburgh. And Gold's Gym Newburgh has grown tremendously since we turned our focus to that and only that. And then we just opened the Middletown gym a month and a half ago. But Newburgh really became a special place, and it was really due to what I would call 8 vital behaviors that we implemented, again, albeit from stuff that I learned and acquired through the years. We just ran with some of these best practices, and we grew Newburgh to what it became. Newburgh grew from 7 years ago, we had about 7,500 members. And this is something I want to share this because I want people to understand the value of, if you do things the right way, and even in this highly competitive fitness industry that we're in, if you do things the right way and you focus on systems that work and you champion those systems, the best that you can do, you can see tremendous business success. So what we've seen in Newburgh in the past 7 years is we grew our member count from 7,400 members to almost 13,000. We increased our new membership rates from $29.99 a month to $49.99 a month. So we jumped our rates much higher than our local competitors, and we still increased our member count by what we did. We decreased our marketing from we were doing about $72,000 a year in marketing. We decreased that to $16,000 a year. You're right. So some of this is like, it doesn't add up. You're like, well, how's that possible? And it was because of these different systems that we brought on to see the success that we've seen in Newburgh. And like I said, there's these 8 vital behaviors. I don't have the time to go into all those behaviors, but there's some that we can certainly, dove into now to share what has been some of our best practices, that even if you're a training facility, because I know a lot of people say to me, well, you're a big giant health club. That's different than what I have. I have a 3,500 square foot training studio. True, we are a different model, but no matter where people go for their health and fitness needs, they are the same people looking for the same type of service and treatment. Mm-hmm. So what are the systems that you implement, be it if you're a 100,000 square foot health club to a 3,500 square foot training studio? What are some of these best practices that people look for when they're looking to take care of their health and fitness needs? And I can share some of that stuff. So from there, we can continue, or if there's anything else.
Absolutely. No, I think that's so valuable, because I think a lot of trainers, they think, oh, I'm a good trainer, and they're working somewhere, or they're working for someone else, and they think, oh, I can do this much better on my own, and they jump right into opening their own business without any experience of running a business.
Yeah, right.
It's so important. The people that I run into that are super successful usually have spent time under someone else, kind of almost getting tutored and learning how to run a business, what works, what doesn't, before they open their own business. And like you said, taking those best practices. And a lot of trainers, like I worked at a facility for a long time, and some of those trainers never left the 4 walls. They never went to any continued ed. They never went to any other facilities.
Yep.
They never got exposed to anything else. And like I said, I think it's, like you said, I think it's important to go to other places, see what works, and see if it'll work in your place, in your market. Connect with people who are doing great things, and see if you can steal some of their knowledge. As I say it all the time, stand on the shoulders of giants. No need to reinvent the wheel if they've already invented it. Just kind of tweak it to your facility and your market. But I think all of those are super, super important points to learn from other places, get exposed to different things, talk to other people who are super successful, and incorporate that into your business. Never be afraid. The model I always go with is never be afraid to be the dumbest guy in the room.
Absolutely.
Know something, I'm going to ask, hey, what is that? How does this work? How's this working for you? And I will ask questions until the sun comes up. I'm like that, that 5-year-old. Why? You know what I mean? But that's the only way you learn. And I think it's really important that people know that you have to pay your dues if you want to be successful down the road. So,
and here's just another point I would make, because I know there's a lot of trainers out there who they have thousands of followers on Instagram. They've got great social media following, and they're in great shape and they lead by example. That doesn't mean a thing when it comes to running a business. And I've seen trainers out there that are like, man, look at all these people. They're gonna follow me. Like, I'm in great shape, and look at me, and just do what I do, and you're gonna get healthy and fit. I'm gonna open my own training place and show you how to do it. And they fail. This is a very challenging business, and if you don't have any type of background or understanding of how this business works, you're gonna fail, because it's not like it was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, you could get away with it. Today, there are fitness facilities on every street corner. Mm-hmm. There's no shortage of supply when people are looking for their health and fitness needs to be taken care of. Never mind what they can actually do now at home.
Right.
Through the advent of on-demand programming and Beachbody and all these other things that are out there competing with you.
Peloton, yeah.
That to get somebody to go, I'm going to drive 5 or 10 minutes out of my way to go to a place. It's inconvenient, but I'm going to go there because. You got to fill that because in a way they just become raving fans. So what are you doing to make that happen?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's get into that. Some of those 8 Vital. Well, let's talk about how you turn your members into raving fans, and how the systems that you implemented enabled you to double your memberships, double your price, and cut your marketing budget not even in half.
No, man, it's crazy. I know.
Like a quarter. That's unbelievable. So let's talk about this. I know when you presented in October, you were talking about your client onboarding and how important that is. Because a lot of times I see it a lot is, you work so hard to get these new members, and then they sign a contract and they become a member, and then you're like, great, you think your job's done. And then so you stop. But then the member's like, okay, so what do I do? And how often do I go? And what do I do to get the most out of this? And then before you know it, they don't know. They feel frustrated. They feel confused. They stop going. And next thing you know, they're canceling.
Correct.
So can you talk about that?
Yeah. So we created an onboarding platform that we call our Smart Start program. And what we wanted to do was give people a pathway that when they came into our facilities, and again, our facilities are massive. So what you talked about earlier about, it's like a shopping plaza. We literally do this Middletown gym that we just built. It feels like a health and fitness village where you walk into this grandiose place, and then as you look out on the main fitness floor, around the perimeter of that fitness floor, there's almost like 4 or 5 boutique centers, boutique studios that provide different types of fitness programming. So for that first person who comes into this environment, that person who they've never been in a gym before, they're new to exercise, they're nervous as hell, they feel like everybody's watching them. When they walk in, what is that first thing they're going to experience to make them go, okay, I'm okay, like I'm comfortable. And so for us, obviously the first thing is your environment. What is your environment when somebody walks into your facility? And I know for a lot of people that have had training facilities for a while, you start taking it for granted. And sometimes you need to step out and look at it with a fresh set of eyes. Like if you had never been in your gym before and you walked into your gym for the first time, how would you feel? Forget about the fact you own it. Try to be that consumer walking into your facility for the first time. What is the experience that they're feeling? And I'm talking about things as simple as, what is the lighting like? What is you know what, James? I apologize. My battery is just about to conk out on me. I got to grab my power cord, man. Can you?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead. Yeah.
I'll be right back. I'm sorry. That ran out fast.
This is the joy of live broadcast, ladies.
Oh, man.
You're seeing it raw and uncut. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm here in my studio is in St. Louis, and it's springtime, and the allergies here are just off the charts, and it's kicking my butt today. I don't even like suffer from allergies, but I can't escape it. It's kicking my butt. So that's why the sniffles and the cough is that everything's blooming, pollen, molds are off the charts, and so it's killing me. So just fill in space until Don gets his power cord. And if you get a chance, you should check out his gym website in Newburgh in Middletown. He has these onboarding videos that he texts them to his new clients. Like when a new member signs up, as they're leaving the club, he sends them a text with a link to the video. And it's just this really cool onboarding video that kind of takes them through, welcomes them, and tells them how to get the most out of their membership and out of their experience at his Gold's Gym. And that's a big part of the reason he's created raving fans out of his members and been able to decrease his marketing budget and increase his prices because of the experience that his members have at his facilities. And when he says that his gyms are shopping malls, that's no exaggeration. So this gym in Middletown that he just opened up is the in-store of an old shopping mall. It used to be the Sears. So he took over basically Sears and turned it into a 53,000 square foot facility that has like these mini boutiques. He has a sports performance area. He has cardio areas, group X areas. It's a juice bar that opens up out to the mall, so people in the mall can stop by and grab a smoothie. It's no small gym, no small feat to open. So if you get a chance, check out the website and check out those videos. That's okay. No, it happens, and that's the beauty of live broadcast, brother.
Yeah.
So you were talking about the Smart Start onboarding system that you have.
Yeah. So leading up to that Smart Start system, the point I was making is when somebody walks into your facility, what are they feeling when they first walk in? Are they engaged by the environment? Are they intimidated by the environment? Do they feel warm and welcome? So we looked at things like, okay, where is the exercise area relative to where you walk in? Things like that. For the person who's brand new coming in off the street, just coming through those doors for the first time is kind of a big first step. And if all of a sudden they're met with a couple of, mega racks off to the right with guys doing squats and everything's just kind of right there in front of them, that is a tough environment for somebody to walk into versus do they walk into an environment that's like, wow, I've got a nice reception area here. I have somebody at the reception area that's welcoming me to the facility, asking me how I can be helped. And then from there, just kind of taking me through something that is comfortable. We looked at things like, what does the lobby look like? Do we have chairs and seating? Let's put in a fireplace. What is the lighting like? What are the colors? What is the branding? So that when people walk in, they go, wow, this is not what I expected when I walked into this place. That was a big thing for us in creating something that just felt different than your typical gym or fitness facility. So we do have very welcoming, warm, engaging environments when somebody first walks into our doors. From there, they are taken through a process where we want to get to know them. This is not about taking somebody out and giving them a tour of the gym without first getting to know them and understand what brought them in to begin with. So if you have somebody, and I know a lot of training facilities, this is the setup. You walk in, there's somebody at a desk, if there's somebody at a desk, or maybe there's a trainer running around the floor trying to multitask, and they're running over trying to service somebody, and it just feels kind of rushed and unorganized. Here, could you fill out this form for me, and then I'll be right with you. That is not the type of warm, welcoming experience that is going to win people over. So from that whole initial onboarding, when that person first comes in, they're met with a friendly greeting. They are put into a comfortable environment where they can have a seat and fill out some information about themselves on a tablet. We then have a staff of fitness consultants, we call them fitness consultants, where their job is basically to sell our memberships. But we call them fitness consultants because their job is to consult with that brand new person who just came in to say, hey, welcome to Gold's Gym. What is it that brings you in today? How can we help you? And let that person open up and get into that opening Q&A that they just start to open up and reveal what it is they'd like to achieve in a way that we're building trust, we're building rapport, and then we're inviting them to take the next step. And that next step is not to immediately, okay, get out there and start doing something. It's like, no, let's first learn about you and then show you how we're going to help address those things you're sharing with us. So that whole process from that person first coming in, sitting down, they fill out a nice little information thing on the tablet. That information is then fed to the fitness consultant who's on the staff at that time. They come out, they sit, they review that information with the client. And from there, we then take them on their tour. So in a place like ours, we have so much going on in the gym. We don't do the typical Disney tour where you're just going to walk around and go, oh, we got this, and we got this, and we got this. And you hope that some of the stuff you're showing them interests them. We're first going to find out what is this person interested in and then take them to that part of the facility or those services and those programs that are going to get that person to go, wow, this is kind of what I'm looking for. Great. Now that we have what you're looking for, let's cover some of the options that we have available to you. Now, once they buy into that process and they become a member of the facility, we have different membership options that we offer. Some include training, some that don't include training. But once they're on board, our Smart Start program, and this is explained to them during that initial consult, we explain to the person, look, when you become a member of our facility, first thing we want to have you do is fill out an online form that's going to share for our team, how we're going to really be able to address your needs and goals. So when you join, you're going to receive a link. This all comes through automated texting. So we use a company called Text Communication, where as soon as that person joins the gym, they've got an automated text that is sent to their phone saying, congratulations, welcome to Gold's Gym in Newburgh. Click here for a successful start. When they click that link, it's going to take them to a landing page. I'm going to give you the landing page right now that you can go to it when you have the time. SmartStartNB.com. SmartStartNB.com. And then we have the same site for
me. As in Marcus.
N as in Nancy, B as in boy, which is basically the abbreviation for Newburgh. Okay. So we use SmartStartNB.com for Newburgh. We use SmartStartMT.com for Middletown. Now, when they get to that landing page, it basically talks about, hey, now that you've become a member of our facility, the last thing you want to do is jump out there and feel overwhelmed. Let's give you a starting action plan, a roadmap for you to know what to do in achieving your goals. So to begin that process, click here. And when they click the link, it takes them to this online questionnaire. And in that questionnaire, yes, it's going to ask a lot of the standard stuff that you'll see in a PAR-Q. It's not a PAR-Q per se. Yeah, there's some quick little information about, do you have any physical restrictions or medical issues we should be aware of? But some of the stuff that we ask about is, what do you prefer when it comes to exercise? There's little multiple choice answers like, I prefer to work out alone. I prefer to work out in a group. I prefer to be led by a coach or an instructor. I prefer classes with motivating music. So we just want to get a feel for, what does this person even prefer when it comes to exercise? Then it gets into, share with us your wish list for what you would like to achieve in the next 3 months. In other words, what are your short-term goals, keeping them realistic? Would you like to lose 15 pounds? Would you like to gain more muscle mass? So we give them like some examples, like, for example, would you like to boom, boom, boom? And then from there, they just kind of spell it out for us. Now that Smart Start form, they hit submit on the form. And again, when they get that link on their phone, very often they're at the comfort of their home and they're filling out their thing on their phone. They hit submit. That immediately comes into my inbox. And then I dish that off to any one of our team of trainers who are completing that Smart Start. It's their job once they get that form. So it's really cool for the trainer because they immediately have some really good information on this person before they've even met with them. So when they make that initial phone call, they can say to the person, hey, James, my name's Don, calling you from Gold's Gym in Newburgh. Thanks for filling out that Smart Start form. I have some really great information from you, and I appreciate you taking the time to do that. What I'd like to do is set up a time where you and I can sit down, talk about how we're going to make these things become a reality for you. What works best? And now that person's been engaged. And a lot of times what we'll try to have to do is have the fitness professional reiterate back to the client what they've shared in the form. So really the dialogue becomes, hey, James, thanks for filling out that form. I'd love to set up a time to come back or have you come in and we can figure out how we're going to make that 15-pound weight loss goal become a reality. What works best for you? So I'm repeating back to you what you've shared with me in the form when it comes to your goals. Set up the appointment, person comes in, and then the trainer does their thing to show them the best possible pathway to success, albeit keeping in mind what does the person prefer. So when a person says, I prefer to work out alone, if the person prefers to work out alone, I'm probably not going to rush them off into a group fitness class. You know, they may not realize that they might like a group fitness class someday, but you got to nurture that process and meet them where their preferences are at. Mm-hmm. Take them on the path that they prefer that's going to lead them to their goals. So that's kind of the way we get our people to open up with us from the point of sale to when they become a member to sitting down and taking them through that initial consultation.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Quick question. Do you have a time window that you want the trainers to call that client after they get the questionnaire?
In the form, we actually say, so once they complete the form, they get an automatic message that says, thank you, James, for completing the form. You will be contacted by one of our fitness professionals in 24 to 36 hours is the timeline we go with. Okay. And naturally, the faster you respond, like anything, the more impressive it is.
Yeah. Okay.
And we say, the only reason we don't say 24 hours and keep it at that is sometimes you hit the weekends and you don't have as much staff on hand to handle the forms that are coming in.
Right. Yeah, no, that's brilliant. So then you get them engaged on their level. You're meeting them where they are.
Correct.
Right off the bat, like you said, kind of almost walking them to what they're looking for and saying, hey, we definitely have what you're looking for. Let's see how we can make it work for you in the best way possible.
Correct, because what happens is, so, and then again, in a place like ours, we've got so much that we're offering. So we have our fitness professionals dialed into thinking about 5 buckets. There's 5 possible buckets here at Gold's Gym in Middletown that a new member will fall into when it comes to their exercise. Bucket number 1 is Group X. Okay, and we include that in the membership. So again, I'm just sharing what our model is, but you got to think about whatever your fitness facility is. What is your model? What are your offerings? What are your programs? Those are your buckets. So you want to be matching people up with the buckets you offer based on what they're sharing with you. So for us, we have our group exercise. Group X is where we have our instructor-led classes, motivating music. There's not a lot of personal coaching going on in there. These are not group training classes. This is your typical Group X that you'd find in a big box gym. So that's bucket number 1. But the trainers are versed enough to know that, look, don't try to sell somebody on training if they're just amped to do group exercise classes. Accept that for what it is, and then educate them on the classes we offer that they might enjoy. So now the dialogue becomes, well, what kind of activities do you enjoy? Do you enjoy cycling? Do you enjoy martial arts? Do you enjoy weightlifting? So depending on the activities that they're sharing, we match them up with the Group X class that we offer that falls under that genre. Okay. So then we have bucket number 2, and that is our sports performance training zone. So this is for athletic training. We actually have a carved out separate area of about 3,800 square feet within our big box, where that is geared for people who want to enhance athleticism and sports performance. So that, if somebody says, yeah, I'm an athlete, I'm trying to enhance this, or I'm trying to improve my game, great. We're now going to get them a second consultation with one of our trainers in our sports performance zone. That's bucket number 2. Bucket number 3 is somebody says, I want to be led by a coach. That's a PT client. Okay, I take that back. I want to be led by a coach means, okay, this person's probably going to be working best with a trainer, but is it going to be one-on-one training or group training? So that depends on, would you prefer to be alone or would you prefer to be in a group? And a lot of times it also depends on their individual needs. If you've got somebody with restricted movement patterns or personal things that have to be addressed, we're not going to throw them into a group training setting. They need more one-on-one attention before they can gravitate towards the group environment. But again, that's just another bucket. So we have our group training as a 3rd bucket, we have one-on-one training as a 4th bucket, and then the 5th bucket that we have is, and we get a lot of this, the people who say, look, I would love to be able to do training. I'm not a class person, and as much as I would love to be able to do training, it's not, my budget's not there for that right now. And let's face it, that is the case for a lot of people. A lot of people would love to be doing training, they just can't afford it. So rather than them feel like a fish out of water, we have to recognize that and say, you know what? I get that, James, but because you're so new to this environment, I don't want you to come in here and feel like a fish out of water with all this equipment and go, well, what do I do next? So let's get you started in showing you how to complete a full body workout on your own. How's that sound? So that's bucket number 5, where we're going to offer them another complimentary session with a trainer. And it's complimentary, where that trainer is just basically going to show them how to do a full body circuit using the machines. Where that person every day can come in and feel like, I can do this on my own. I feel confident now that I've been shown. And we know what happens for a lot of these people. Once they know how to come in on their own and successfully complete a workout, even if it's just doing the circuit, that's step number 1. Giving them the self-confidence to go, I'm here and I'm doing it. Then they start to get, as they gain confidence, they start to venture, or we encourage them to start venturing into some of those other buckets that I talked about. But it's any one of those 5 buckets that we're channeling them into after they've completed that Smart Start form. That's what happens during the consult.
Yeah, that's a great thing. And then just to bring that down to the studio model. So I have a 3,000 square foot facility, and when clients come in, we usually start them on a trial offer, our 21-day trial offer. So we could probably use that questionnaire to kind of lead them to the right membership for them while they're on the trial offer, and create a raving fan out of them before they even become a member. While they're on the trial, and say, what, you're looking for this, you're looking for one-on-one, are you looking for more cardio or these types of classes? So yeah, that's a great idea, is that even after they come in and they're on our trial, we can still use that questionnaire to kind of retarget them and guide them to where they want to be, and then create that raving fan before they even join. I love that.
Yeah, man, and you just reminded me of something. Like, we're about to launch into, and I would encourage any fitness operator to do this. I think the market is reaching a point where people are tired of memberships. It's like, let me sell them a membership. People want to buy programs. People want to pay a set price. Maybe you finance that price depending on how much it is, or you split it into 2 payments, whatever. But what we're finding is people very often want to pay a set price and get A, B, C, D. What's my value proposition for paying this set price? And it has a finite, start and end date. Now, we know from a business standpoint that we're trying to convert people to long-standing, monthly paying clients. That's how we build our business, and that's certainly how we've built our business. We have a massive, 6-figure EFT draft, but to get more people introduced to our environments versus let's give them a free trial. What is the free trial? What is that? You know, that's been around for years, and everybody gives free trials. Well, what do I get with a free trial? Like, I still don't want to go because I don't know what I'm doing. Give me something that's got more teeth. So I want to open up, if I open up a Word document right now, am I going to mess this up, or am I going to, I think you're still going to see me, right? Okay.
Yeah, I'll still see you.
Because we just wrote this marketing piece. Check this out. Local resident invitation. This is something my wife and I are working on. And I'm going to credit Tammy. My wife, Tammy got into the industry literally about 2 years ago through me. And prior to that, she was in the New York City finance world. But Tammy, she has really kind of sharp-minded insight to what does the consumer want. So too often as gym operators, we get caught into doing what our industry has done for so many years. And so she's kind of come in with this fresh set of ideas and thinking where I'm like, hey, you know what? Like, yeah, let's do that. So here's something that we're about to throw out. I'm going to read this to you. 1 week getting started program for local residents only. Cost $20. And we were going to make it free, but when we said, well, no, let's put some value behind it. Because a lot of times when things are free, people perceive it as, well, how good is it going to be? It's free. So by giving a price point of, for 1 week, $20, here's what you're going to get. And again, it's for local residents only. So they're feeling special, like we're giving special treatment. 1 week getting started program. You will receive a 1 week VIP membership to Gold's Gym Middletown. 2, learn how to use the fitness equipment and get comfortable with your surroundings. 3, be introduced to a cycling class, optional, perfect for first timers. 4, learn about Gold's Group exercise and the classes we offer. 5, be provided with a free week of hydro massage. 6, meet other people who are new to exercise at Gold's Gym Middletown. And then bonus, at the end of your VIP week, you'll receive a discounted membership voucher and easy to follow written nutrition guidelines to help with weight loss and overall healthy living. That's the offer. So that's what we're putting out there for this new 1 week opportunity for local residents only. That's, I believe, has more teeth than, hey, free 1 week trial.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. That's brilliant. Looking at it from the eyes of the consumer, because I talk about this a lot on the show of not being a commodity. In this market, it's so competitive that it's easy to be a commodity. And if you can pre-package like 1 week, if you can package it like a product, okay, we're going to sell you 1 week, and this is what you get. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And then they say, okay, that's it's like taking a box off a shelf and putting it in your I will buy this product. And I agree with you on the free. I think the free has no value in there. If they go, it's no skin off their back.
That's right.
If they got to pay it, then they got to put a little skin in the game. They're a little bit more invested in it. And so they're more likely to show up and follow through because they paid their money to do this for this product. And so then you become a product instead of a commodity. Oh, I can do what's different than from your free trial than that free trial and that free trial and that free trial. Well, what's different is it's not a free trial. It's a product.
That's right.
1 week. This is what you get for 1 week. Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yeah, and like you guys, and I say you guys, you're a lot of your associates are that training boutique studio operator that is dealing with the likes of, Crunch and Planet Fitness and Retro and all these other players out there that are, $9.99 a month. Mm-hmm. Join today, it's $1 down, $9.99 a month. Like, how do you compete with that? You can't. So you can't compete on price. You have to package a value proposition that people go, man, look what I'm getting to help me with my health and fitness goals versus, a free trial for $1 down. It's like, that's just that glorified, come on in, we got lots of fitness equipment, figure out what you got to do. That's what those places do. You guys are vested in your clients, and that's what, Like if I wasn't born into these massive gyms that we have, I would not start this from scratch had I not been born into it. Like this is a monster, man. And it's a very complex one in terms of the expenses and the overhead. But when I look at what you guys do, so I'm envious at times because it's like, man, you just control this smaller environment and you can put together these programs that have these value propositions and these little, 1 week teasers for a very small entry price to get them exposed to what you do. You guys crush those big box competitors because of the value of the training and the nutrition guidance and the hand-holding that you provide for your clients. You just got to package it in a way that they can get a taste of it, but not a free trial of it.
Right.
Really think of it as a VIP treatment for X dollars for 1 week. We're going to treat you like a VIP person. You're going to feel very special when you come.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that meet other people who are just starting out.
Like you.
Because then it makes them feel like, okay, I'm not in it alone.
Yes. Or I'm not in it where I'm the only beginner and everybody else knows what they're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Comfort in numbers. And here's the stats on our industry, and I know a lot of operators don't know this. Only 19% of the U.S. population currently belongs to some type of gym or a health club. So, 81% of the population out there, they're still trying to figure out what's best for them. There's a massive market out there. So when somebody says, "Oh, the market's saturated," it's not saturated. We just haven't done a good job getting to the 81 percenters who are a bit intimidated by what we do.
I agree. I say that all the time. You're the first guest that, other than Rick Mayo, of course, who has said that. And it's so true. And it's because like you said, most of the people in the industry, they walk into it looking through the lens of a trainer or a fitness guy and all the marketing material, the 6-pack abs, the tight booty shorts.
Ah, man.
It's geared toward the 19%.
Yes.
So the 81% see that and they're like, there's no way I'm going to go in there, and train next to that, So you have to look through the lens, their lens, and target them. Like, what will make them? What do they need in order to walk through your doors?
Right. What do they relate to?
Yeah, exactly.
What do they relate to? Yeah.
Yeah, and if you can tap into that 81%, that's a fucking gold mine.
Huge,
why would you want to target 19% of the market when you can target 81%? It's a no-brainer.
To keep doing it. We all do it. And even like with the Gold's Gym brand, I love it to death. I love the Gold's Gym brand. I love, it's iconic. It's the original, whatever. Mm-hmm. But it's still got this connotation of being hardcore. Gold's Gym is the birth of bodybuilding. It's like that kind of resonates still on a lot of people. And we've had a tough time overcoming that. We've done a very good job of it here in our community. But even when we look at some of our, Gold's Gym as a company has gotten much better at softening the marketing. But still, there's just too many pretty bodies in the marketing. And that intimidates a lot of people.
Right.
It needs to be that average overweight person. And that's what the average is. The average person is overweight today. So you need to put stuff out there that resonates with them. Not, here, you're going to get ripped in 6 weeks and you're going to look like this. You're ready for a physique show. That's not what they want. They're not ready for that. Yeah,
that's like trying to sell Lamborghinis. So like the top 1% of the 1% will buy that.
Because on that role, talking about these vital behaviors from a marketing standpoint, what led to such great marketing success for us at a cheaper level, we got really good at social media. We eliminated direct mail. We eliminated radio. We just eliminated it and went 100% social media. I'm not saying everybody should do that, but it's just worked well for us because we have so many referrals coming in. But what we've done with social media is not, this is what a lot of the entrepreneurs try to do is like, they share on their social media feeds how jacked they are, how much weight they're lifting, and how great they look. And you need to brag and post about your client success stories. There should be a constant feeder of success stories, weight loss stories, life transformation stories of your clients that are resonating out on social media. 2 or 3 at any given time. Frank Nash is brilliant at this. You look at Frank Nash, and you follow him on social media, he's awesome at that concept of always having real people with life transformation stories that have gone to his facility and what they've achieved.
Yeah. And on top of having a badass facility. And, Colin McGarity is really good at that too. So that's great. And I want to respect your time. And we didn't even get to like your onboarding video. So I encourage everybody to check out those videos, and the links will be in the show notes. But I want to respect your time. So I always close out with a couple of questions, and they're not gotcha questions, but they are my favorite part of the podcast. So what I'm going to ask you is like, what has been your most successful failure? And by that, I mean, what at the time seemed like a devastating, catastrophic loss that you didn't think you were going to be able to rebound from, but you were able to take lessons from that propelled you to greater success down the road?
Okay, so 2007, Gold's Gym Newburgh, profitable gym, clicking along, we think, on all cylinders, doing our thing. And, it's been going on for years, day by day, coming and going, making some money. And all of a sudden, Planet Fitness opens up down the street. And in the course of 2 months, we lose 1,200 members. It was like, what have we been doing wrong? It shocked us. This was back in 2007. And as we all know, a lot of fitness facilities back then went into the panic mode, and they either went out of business or they dropped their dues so low that they couldn't stay afloat because they dropped their rates trying to compete on price. We didn't do that. Yeah, we did lower our price a bit, but we didn't go to that rock bottom pricing. We decided to step back and say, okay, obviously Planet Fitness is now starting to commoditize the average gym. They're basically saying it's not worth more than $10 a month. You want equipment? We have it all for you. You want locker rooms? We got nice clean ones, $10 a month. That shocked the whole fitness industry. And so we started looking and saying, okay, how do you overcome this? Well, you have to enhance your value. You have to create a product that when people walk in, they go, I'm in a different place. It just feels better. The service is better. The energy of the space is better. So that's what made us get better at what we do. And that's what has led to our success. Again, these 8 vital behaviors. It's just, we got really good at a different level, and we enhanced our value in a way that the likes of Planet and Retro and those other bottom feeders is what I call them, they cannot do what we do. And so now in our market, we don't even hear the name Planet Fitness anymore. They're still there, but when somebody comes in, we charge $149 enrollment. So it's $149 down and then $49.99 a month in Newburgh, and people don't bat an eye at it. If they do, we're like, look, it's a different product. Planet Fitness is great. If you just want some equipment, go for it. But if you want service and guidance and understanding how to really get healthy and fit and enjoy the environment that you're in, that's what we offer, and we're really good at it. So that caused us to get much better at what we do when Planet Fitness opened up.
Yeah, that's a great story. I love that. I preach that all the time about becoming an expert and providing service and experience for your members and value. Everybody has a line item in their budget that they spend way more than they should on, and the reason they do that is because they like it.
They like it.
It has value to them. And so if you can become that line item for them, because you provide value, they won't even question it.
That's right. Makes them feel good. They feel good to the point they can't do without it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. And then my next question is, what the time you've been in the fitness industry, what was the biggest surprise that you've had to deal with that you didn't see coming?
It's the same answer. When Planet opened up,
okay.
Wow,
okay.
that rocked our world. But the other big surprise for me was the value of group.
Okay.
The value of group over one-on-one. And I say that because even as we look at our model here in the gym, like we're really getting away from the emphasis on one-on-one training. Like one-on-one training is always going to be there because there are people that they want one-on-one guidance. They don't want to be in groups. But you also have the people who are they're injured or they have restricted movement patterns. They need injury rehab. Mm-hmm. The only one-on-one training is going to be able to do that. But group, from a value proposition, the experience, the price point, and even the income that the trainer can make, it's a win-win-win proposition. It's less for the client, it's more for the trainer, and it's more for the business. So the value of small group training and even large group training, which obviously Rick Mayo has figured out brilliantly, just kudos to him. We license his program. It's just, it's invaluable. And so group and the value of group was a surprise to me, especially when I was that weightlifting guy who wanted nothing to do with aerobics or group exercises. Like, let's just get in the gym and lift some weights. But you put people into an engaging group environment, man, that's awesome. And I think it's the wave of where our industry is going.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that also goes to the point of making your services prescriptive, meaning like once you get to know your client, then say, hey, this is what I think you need to start out in one-on-one.
Yeah.
Because of XYZ. And then our goal is to progress you to small group.
Yes.
We don't want you to pay for the service if you don't need it, but you need it. So this is where we recommend that you start. This is where you're going to experience the most success, and then we'll progress you on. And so then they feel like, oh, okay, this is where I got to start, and then I got to progress. And I know for me, I started taking jiu-jitsu like 18 months ago, and I can't wait to get my next fucking stripe.
Wow,
I'm working hard. I'm like, man, when am I going to get my stripe?
Wow.
And so, yeah, I love that. And you can set that up with your clients as well.
Yeah.
All right. And then my last question is, where do you go to get your personal development, professional personal development? What are the podcasts you listen to? What were the last 3 books you read, or where do you go?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I'm horrible at it. I'm horrible at it.
Okay.
For me personally, it's the conferences, listening to speakers at the conferences that have been hugely successful. I've been to the Perform Better conference last year. Hearing Rick speak, STS, and some of the speakers that were there, and just speaking to other operators more than anything is where I'm getting my best value. On a business level, trying to become a better leader, Good to Great. I read that book recently. But aside from that, I wish I had more time for personal development. It really has been not what it should be on my end, but I'm surrounded by a lot of good people because of the Gold's Gym world that I'm in. There's a lot of successful operators, and so we're always talking to each other and spoon feeding each other ideas and stuff like that. So
yeah,
every time I go to pick up a book, either my 5-year-old or my 2-year-old's chewing on my ear again. So I can't even read a book these days.
Yeah, no, I get it. And that's okay. Conferences are good, and mastermind groups.
Yes.
And talking to other operators, like you said, just kind of bouncing ideas, using them as a soundboard and saying, yeah, maybe I'll try that. And
I was on Rick's Roundtable for a couple of years.
Okay.
Until my kids came along, I couldn't get away. But look at, like you said, some of those mastermind groups where you're with other good, savvy operators that you can learn best practices and get ideas. The whole point that we said earlier is just get out of your facility sometimes. I know it's hard for a lot of smaller business owners that, you're kind of like a one-man show, but you got to learn to scale yourself that you can work on your business and not in the business.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's how you're going to grow your success.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. All right. So where in the world can people get in touch with you if they want to find out more, reach out to you?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I give you my cell phone number. If somebody wants to call me on my cell, text is the best way to reach me.
Okay.
Right now, I'm even have a tough time getting my email sometimes. So my cell phone number is 914-475-0818. And anybody who's ever passing through the area, we're about 60 miles north of New York City. Interstate 84, the New York State Thruway, I-87, Route 17, all those roads pass through the Newburgh Middletown area. If you're ever just up in this region and you want to swing into either the Newburgh or Middletown gym and take a tour and sit down and chat, let me know. Shoot me a text, give me a call, let me know you're coming around, and I'd be happy to do that. And they can email me too. My email is DP as in Peter Murphy at Gold's Gym, HV as in Victor.com.
Okay, awesome. And then I definitely encourage everybody to check out those videos, and the links for those videos will be in the show notes. It's a great way to onboard your clients. And we didn't even get to onboarding your staff. So hopefully when things settle down for you, maybe when your kids go into college, we can get you back onto the podcast and we can talk about that.
Yeah.
All right, Don. Well, thanks for taking the time. I know you're a busy guy, so I really appreciate you taking the time to come on the show. This has been great.
Thanks for staying with me, James. I appreciate it. All right.
No problem. All right. Have a good day, brother.
Take care. We'll see you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.